Welcome back to The Mind, a podcast series by the Ramakrishna Vedanta Centre, New Zealand, a conversation at the meeting point of modern science and the contemplative traditions of yoga and Vedanta. I'm Rama, your host. This is the final episode of Module 2, The Anatomy of the Mind. Over the last conversations, Swamiji, Sarah, James, and Kai have met the four workers of the inner instrument, one at a time: the radar, the decider, the eye maker, the memory field. Today they watch all four operate together in a single, ordinary, slightly painful second and see exactly how a few words from a relative become hours of inner turmoil. And then the episode turns, gently, on one quiet question, the most important in the whole course. While all four workers were busy, who was watching them? How experience becomes mine. Let's join them. The same room, a sense of arrival. They know this is the last of a stretch. Tea poured, no rush. Sarah has brought flowers and set them on the table without comment.
Last time, naming the old groove instead of arguing with it and carving a small new one daily. How did it sit?
The naming helped more than I expected. This is my riverbed, not a fact about my son. I must have said it a dozen times. And the warm moment a day with each of them, I think it changed me as much as them.
Old groove, not today's water, don't argue it. Honestly, not arguing was the relief. I'd spent years debating my own self-criticism and losing. Just naming it and doing my 30 seconds of breath anyway felt like finally putting the megaphone down.
The 30 seconds of calm before a lesson is now a habit, and naming old channel, not today's class, when the dread came, it stopped me teaching from the dread.
Good. So here's where we've come to. You've now met all four workers: manas, the radar; buddhi, the decider; ahaṁkāra, the eye maker; chitta, the memory field, each on its own. But you've never met them as you actually live them, all at once, in a single second. That's today. We'll take one small, ordinary, slightly painful moment and watch the whole instrument fire. And then, because this is the end of Module 2, I want to show you the thing that's been quietly true the whole time, the thing the entire rest of this course rests on. Sarah, you brought flowers, so let me borrow a family scene. You're at a big family gathering. An older relative, let's say an aunt, looks at you across the table and says lightly, "Oh, you've changed your hair." That's it. 4 words, ambiguous tone. What happens in you?
Oh, I know exactly what happens. Instant. She hates it. She thinks I've let myself go. Chest tight. And I'll be turning it over at midnight.
4 words become hours. Let's slow that 1 second down to a crawl and watch all 4 workers do it. First, what made you even register the comment over all the other noise in the room?
My attention just snapped to her. Everything else went quiet.
That's manas, the radar. It detected the signal, oriented, narrowed, and flagged, "This matters." It doesn't yet know what it means, it just hands it on. Now, the words themselves are neutral. You've changed your hair. Where did "she hates it" come from?
Buddhi, the decider. It resolved the ambiguous thing into a definite meaning.
Exactly. Buddhi collapsed an ambiguous remark into "she's criticizing me." And notice, as we learned, a different buddhi, less grooved by history, might have landed on "she noticed, maybe she likes it." Same 4 words, but Sarah's buddhi resolved along the channel that years of similar moments had already carved. Not a free choice in the present, a conditioned one. Then, the third worker. It's not "a hairstyle has been commented on," it's "I've let myself go." Who made it about Sarah?
Ahaṁkāra, the eye maker. It claimed it and turned the volume up.
That's the amplifier engaging, James. A mild social moment becomes a personal wound, and the boundary snaps up. She's against me. I have to defend. And the fourth worker. Sarah, you said you'd be turning it over at midnight. Why does it last?
Because it goes in. It joins all the other times I felt judged. It sticks.
That's chitta, storing the impression, and not in isolation. It drops onto the whole pile. Every previous remark from this aunt, every childhood moment approval was withheld. And in landing there, it deepens the groove, making it a touch more likely that the next ambiguous comment gets read the same way. 4 workers, 1 second. A whole inner event built from 4 neutral words.
Here's what gets me though. The aunt left the room ages ago, that Sarah's still suffering at midnight. There's no aunt there, so what's generating it?
The sharpest question of the day, Kai, and the answer is unsettling. The loop is now running on its own. No new input needed. At midnight, manas represents the memory, buddhi reinterprets it, usually adding fresh negative detail. Ahaṁkāra reclaims it. Chitta stores the strengthened version, round and round. Sarah isn't receiving suffering from outside anymore. She's generating it from within, running the loop on stored material.
That's uncomfortably accurate. The replay is worse than the moment was.
It almost always is, because the replay compounds. And here's the bigger picture. This self-feeding wheel, turning automatically, deepening with every turn, the traditions have a name for it. Saṁsāra, the wheel of conditioned existence. And I want to be clear what it is and isn't. It's not a punishment. It's not a curse. It's just what self-reinforcing loops do, left unwatched. It turns automatically, unless awareness steps in. Hold that unless. Everything turns on it.
You said at the very start of all this, way back, that experience is X plus Y. What's in front of you plus what you bring. Is this the same thing?
James, you've remembered the thread that ties the whole course together, and yes, this is the payoff. Back in our very first conversation, I said, every experience is X, what's actually there, meeting Y, what you bring to it. And I left Y vague, mood, memory, history. Now, after this module, I can tell you exactly what Y is. Y is this whole instrument and everything stored in it. It's the grooves in your chitta, the habits of your buddhi, the claiming patterns of your ahaṁkāra, the biases of your manas, the entire conditioned system, in the state it's in at the moment of encounter.
So why isn't a thought I can just correct? It's the whole riverbed.
The whole riverbed, Kai, which is why you couldn't just think your way out, and why genuine change takes practice, not a clever realization. 2 people hear the aunt's 4 words and live in 2 different worlds, because their why, their whole instrument, is different. Sarah's aunt didn't give her the suffering. The 4 words were just X. The suffering was Sarah's why, meeting them. And that, though it stings to see, is the most hopeful sentence in this module. Because X you usually can't control. But why? Why can be tended, cleared, re-landscaped. The wheel can be slowed. Now I'm going to ask the question this whole module has been building toward. We've just watched the entire loop, manas detecting, buddhi interpreting, ahaṁkāra claiming, chitta storing, the wheel turning. Kai, Sarah, James, let me ask you something very simple. Who was watching all of that?
A pause. The room goes quiet.
I mean, I was. But if I can watch manas react, and watch buddhi decide, and watch ahaṁkāra grab it, then I can't only be those things, can I? There's something doing the watching.
Kai, stay right there. That is the most important thing you'll say in this entire module. If you can observe the loop, see the radar move, catch the decider deciding, feel the I maker claiming, then you are not only the loop. There is something in you, aware of the whole process that is not itself caught in it. The traditions call it the witness, the sakshi, the awareness that sees but is never seen as an object, present through every turn of the wheel, yet never touched by its content.
That's a relief I can feel in my body. The part of me watching the midnight replay isn't in the replay, it's just watching.
It was never in the replay, Sarah. And remember the chariot from weeks ago? The body, the chariot, senses the horses, manas, the reins, buddhi, the charioteer. There was one figure we named and then left quiet. The rider. The one the whole journey is for. That rider is this witness, the self, carried by the chariot but not the chariot, served by the charioteer but not the charioteer. It's been present this whole module, behind every worker, and we're only now turning to look at it.
So all this machinery we've been studying, manas, buddhi, all of it isn't some separate thing from the self. I'd half assumed we were mapping the enemy.
A crucial thing to clear up at the close, James. No. The inner instrument is not a second reality and not the enemy. It's the self seen through the medium of the mind, the way the one light looks when it shines through coloured, moving glass. When you see the instrument clearly, what shines through it is recognized as what was there all along. One undivided awareness appearing as the whole drama of a personal life. The waves were always the ocean.
But I don't feel like a serene witness most of the time. I feel like the loop.
Of course you do, Kai. And nobody's asking you to pretend otherwise, or to stop being a person, or to fix your whole life by Tuesday. The witness isn't a state you have to manufacture. It's already here. It's the very thing reading these words, the one that's been watching this whole conversation. Recognizing it begins small. Watch manas move without being dragged. Notice buddhi's verdict without swallowing it as final truth. Feel ahaṁkāra's claim without being consumed. Sense chitta's pull without surrendering to the groove. Each time you watch the loop without being caught in it, even for a breath, you're resting, briefly, as the awareness the loop had been hiding.
And that resting, that's the beginning of the freedom you've been pointing at all along.
That is the beginning, Sarah. Not an escape from your life, a different relationship to it. The wheel may still turn, but there's now someone awake in the chariot. And that single shift, from being only the loop to also being the one who sees the loop, is the ground everything else in this course is built on. You've reached it not by belief, but by looking, which is exactly where we wanted to arrive. No new technique to close the module, just one tiny move, available any moment for the rest of your life. When you next feel the loop firing, the tight chest, the replay, the sting, don't try to stop it. Just silently note the four workers as they pass. Manas caught it. Buddhi's calling it a threat. Ahaṁkāra's made it about me. Chitta wants to file it. And then notice the only thing that matters. You can see all that. So you are also the one watching. Rest there for one breath. That's the whole practice. Sarah, next family gathering, when an innocent remark lands and the chest tightens, run it once. Radar, decider, eye maker, memory, and I can see them all. One breath as the witness. You don't have to win the moment, you just have to remember who's watching it.
Name the four, then rest as the one who sees them. After this module, I think I finally can.
James, when a class triggers the old dread, the same. Manas, buddhi, ahaṁkāra, chitta, and the one who notices all four. Teach the next minute from the witness, not the wheel. See if the room feels different when you do.
Step into the rider's seat before I pick up the reins. Yes.
And Kai, your inner critic. Next time it runs, don't argue, don't believe, don't even name the groove this time. Just watch the whole loop fire and quietly notice, I'm aware of all this. The awareness isn't rubbish at anything. It's just watching. One breath there.
The awareness isn't the one failing the seminar. It's just watching the one who thinks he is. Yeah, I can rest there for a breath.
Then Module 2 has done its work. You came in thinking you were the mind. You're leaving able to watch it and beginning to suspect you're the one who sees. Tell me, when we begin again, what you found in that one breath. Because that breath is the doorway into everything ahead.
And that brings the anatomy of the mind to a close. We watched 4 neutral words become hours of turmoil as the whole instrument fired. Manas, buddhi, ahaṁkāra, chitta, and then turned to the quiet question underneath it all. Who was watching? That witness, the one who can see the loop without being caught in it, is the ground on which everything ahead is built. Next time, Module 3 begins. How experience is built moment by moment, the vrittis, the wave formations of the mind. And to go deeper, the full lesson 2.7 is available in the course Beginners, Conversations on the Mind in the Light of Modern and Spiritual Sciences on the Ramakrishna Vedanta Center's website, www.vedanta.nz. It is also available as an app on Google Play and the Apple App Store by searching for Vedanta NZ. Until then, be gentle with your mind.